Welcome to the Sibley Public Library Summer Adventure. We are on our last week of our Summer Adventure Journal. So we are wrapping up our story here. We're going to talk a little bit about the resolution, and I think I'm going to go through all of this week's pages just because it's our final, and the resolution always tends to be pretty short, so we don't have a whole lot to do today. So let's talk about the aftermath. After our hero has fought their last battle and has been awarded the riches they desired, we come to the resolution of our story. The aftermath of our hero's journey is explained. Whatever outcome the villain faces because of their stunts may be described, and the lessons our hero learned may be revealed. This is the place where most of the reader's questions are answered. Follow the prompts on the next page to help wrap up your story. So this first part here is the return. Where does your hero go from here? Do they return home, or do they have a new home? Do they return to family? So if they still have a home to return to, you might describe that after their long journey they went back home, or maybe their reward was a brand new castle, and so in that case their return is going to be a little different. They're going to return to a new life in their castle and maybe reunite with some of their family. Down here in this book, we're going to write the lesson. What lesson does your story teach? So all great fables that Aesop wrote, at least, have a moral to them that you learn at the end of the story. So what did you want your story to teach? Things aren't always as they seem. Kindness always wins over evil, so whatever your lesson is, we'll put that there. Here in this mirror, we're going to talk about the growth. How has your main character changed after their adventure? Are they more forgiving of people? Are they happier and less inclined to complain? So hopefully your hero has progressed throughout the story and has learned something in their lesson and made them a better person. So how has your character grown? That would be described here. And then there's a secret. Is there a final secret that you'd like to reveal, such as the villain and hero being twins? What? Not necessarily that big of a secret. Maybe your pet can turn into a human, or some little thing, just to kind of give it a little fun at the end to learn something new that you didn't know the whole time. We are getting so close to being done with our story outline. If you haven't started to fill in the gaps with extra writing, now is a great time to start embellishing your story using the extra colored paper provided. Also, think of a great title to add to your title page if you haven't done so yet. And so we come to the conclusion of our Imagine Your Story Summer Adventure. What an accomplishment! I am so proud of you for making it this far. I hope you had as much fun as your hero. Maybe your story will be one that is told for centuries to come, like those of Aesop and Hans Christian Andersen. If you didn't write everything down, you still have time to use this book as an outline, or tell it orally like legends of old. Every time you retell it, you can embellish more details to make it really memorable. Every great legend needs an end phrase. Does your story end happily ever after? Or is a sequel planned? Choose your favorite from the list below to conclude your tale. So here I've listed some popular ends to some legends, starting with, and they lived happily ever after. And that's the end of that. And so the story goes. But that is a story for another day. That was just the beginning. The end. My story is done, but this story will go on as long as grass grows and rivers run. Now all is past. The story also, for all stories, must come to an end at last. Even to this day. In fact, if I hadn't been there myself, I never would have believed it. And so, you may select your favorite ending and write it on the lines on the next page. Or if you have a wonderful end phrase of your own, you can describe it there. But I think I will have, but that is a story for another day, be my end phrase. So that gives me an opportunity to open up for another story or a sequel story with my same character. So I will write that here. And one final thing on the back is about the author. Here you will write a brief description about yourself. Write a little bit about yourself so your readers know where you grew up and what you enjoy doing. So I will write that I grew up in Remsen and work at the Sibley Public Library as the youth librarian here. I enjoy ice cream and books, of course. And that's the end. Thank you so much for joining me for these journal sessions. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have.